Monica Coburn, everybody. Please give Monica a round of applause. Monica is the Managing Director of Nevada Business Advisors. Monica, please come to the stage and tell people about yourself while I get you all set up with your slide. Hopefully it works. Give Monica a round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much.
So while Lorraine's getting my slides up, first of all, it's great to be at my very first Tech Alley Henderson event. I'm very excited. Ben Hunter Marketing, I gave him a shout out. He actually invited me to my very first Tech Alley event in the other city. We won't say what city that is, right? Shh. So, Lorraine, thank you so much. So I'm going to talk about the power of certification for business growth and opportunities. But before I do that, I'll just give you a very high-level overview, a little bit about my background and what we do. So I am a native, not of Henderson. I'm a native of Hawaii. And yes, thank you. But I've been in Southern Nevada for over 20 years. I do go back home. The question I always get asked is, why would you ever move here? Believe me, I still get my ocean and palm trees and sand when I need it.
Maui's experiencing all this flooding right now.
They're just one island. I know. That's a whole nother story. So I came to Southern Nevada, and my background is commercial banking and finance. So I've been in that industry for over 20 years. But my first business started in Hawaii when I was 8 years old. So I have I'm a closet entrepreneur at a very young age, and then I came out and actually left my corporate position in banking almost 7 years ago to start Nevada Business Advisors. And so we are a boutique business consulting firm, and when Lorraine and I had a conversation about what I should talk about, we mutually agreed that this is probably one to talk about. So that's me, that's the information, overview. I'm gonna skip all that. And thank you for being here and supporting Lorraine, because we have a great ecosystem. We have a great ecosystem of business support and resources. So thank you for being here. So certification, I'm just gonna go over what is certification, the different types, eligibility requirements, process, benefits, and then I'll have some time for Q&A. I did promise Lorraine I would stay on time. So show of hands, before today's event, how many of you heard or knew about certification? Raise your hand. Okay, wow, we have very few, so this is going to be good. Thank you. And the next question I probably already know the answer to, but for those of you that just raised your hand, are any of you a certified business? Wow, okay, great. I know you. So I want you to think of certification like alphabet soup. There's a lot of acronyms when it comes to certification. But what I want you to think about it as a tool in your business toolbox. Certification is like innovation, right? Because this event is about innovation, it's about advancement, it's introducing something new to your business and expanding what your business is about, okay? It can help grow your business, diversify your revenue stream, and when a business is certified, this is really important, it can provide you access to opportunities. It doesn't guarantee you opportunities, it provides you access to them. So whether you're looking to do business in the public sector, the private sector, this could be your secret sauce, as we like to say. So you see that photo on the bottom, I'm gonna stick to my day job. That is a picture I took when we had the big game of the Super Bowl in Las Vegas 2 years ago. And that's an example of access to opportunities. When the Super Bowl goes to a city, they have a program where they want to support local businesses to be suppliers and vendors for the big game. So a year before they came to Las Vegas, they put out their feelers to engage suppliers and vendors to be a part of their program. But guess is one of the eligibility requirements. The business had to be already certified or in the process of applying for certification. So if you did not have that, guess what? You couldn't be in the game, okay? So that's what I mean by access. There's different types of certifications: minority-owned, woman-owned, veteran-owned. There are also certifications that has nothing to do with gender and nothing to do with ethnicity, okay? So there are public sector certifications. So if you're looking to do business with the government, those are certifications. And if you're looking to do business with the private sector, there are certifications for that. So let's talk about our federal government, should we? I'll keep this brief, I promise. So if you're looking to do business with the federal government, no surprise, they are the largest buyer of goods and services in the country. And in fiscal year 2025, yes, they spent $7 trillion and a little bit above that. But this is what I want you to pay attention to. That's how much they spent with small business. $178.3 billion supporting our small businesses. And it was one of the highest numbers that they've ever spent, okay? Now, I'm going to run through really quickly what are some of those certifications if you are interested in becoming certified and doing business with the federal government. So the first, in honor of Women's History Month, we're going to talk about women-owned small business certification, okay? So this is a designation given to businesses if you qualify, but the company must be either majority owned and controlled by a female or solely owned by a woman. That's just one of the requirements. Here's all the other requirements to apply for this particular certification. What I will tell you is you have to be a for-profit business. It doesn't matter the certification. That's going to be consistent throughout. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but what I do want to point out is you have to be a small business under SBA size standards, which is like 99% of businesses in the country. The key words is owned and controlled. And why that's important is sometimes companies will go and apply for certification, and the female may be the owner on paper, but guess what? Only on paper. They're not making the decisions for that company. Okay, veterans, do we have any veterans in the room? Stand up, veterans. Can we give our veterans a thank you for your service? Thank you for your service, okay? So there is a certification specifically for veteran-owned small business. I see a typo. It should be VOSB. And so this is federal government. Again, the business must be majority owned and controlled by a veteran, okay? And these are the qualifications or eligibility requirements to apply for this particular certification. And when you are a veteran-owned or even a woman-owned business, the federal government has what they call set-asides or sole source awards. This is important for you because what it does is it minimizes your competition if you're looking to bid on contracts or opportunities with the federal government, okay? There's also service disabled, so if you have that designation as a veteran, that's another one you can look into, okay? So now we're gonna get into local and state certifications. We're not gonna get into all of this, but this just gives you some examples of our local and state entities where opportunities exist, and you may actually get a competitive edge if you are certified depending on that opportunity, okay? Then we have private sector. So think of private sector again as non-government entities. These are your larger corporations, right? We see some of the logos here. What they all have in common is within their companies, they have what's called a supplier diversity program. They may call it a little different today, but that means they intentionally look at spending money or a percentage of their budget with diverse suppliers, woman-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, etc. Okay? So first one is MBE or Minority Business Enterprise. Exactly what that sounds like. So the company must be majority owned and controlled by a minority of these ethnicities that you see here on these slides, okay? These are the eligibility requirements. And then we have WBE, or Women Business Enterprise. So we are both a WBE certified firm. We're also a women-owned small business certified firm. So we have this because we want to do business with larger entities. Again, these are the eligibility requirements. And then what I want to share with you is there's very few organizations that are approved to vet this certification. And what you see here are 4 of them. There's one more. But the one that you see highlighted is called the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. They are the gold star. They're the most well-known for these certifications. And if you see the logos here in the bottom, those are proprietary to WeBank. So if you're shopping and you see that women-owned logo, we've seen them, I've seen them, Target, Albertsons, that tells you that product is a woman-owned certified firm, okay? These are all the other certifications that we're not gonna have an opportunity to get into, but if you have a disability, there's a certification for disability-owned businesses. HUBZone, that's federal government. Certified LGBTBE, okay? That's a private sector certification. You have ESB, Emerging Small Business. Remember I said this is like alphabet soup. SBE, Small Business Enterprise, and DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So the process, I tried to simplify this, but basically it's like applying for a business loan. There's a lot of documentation requirements. Think financials, business licenses, entity documentation, all of that. So you have documentation, there's an application, it gets submitted, it gets reviewed, and then depending on the certification, they will do a site visit virtually. Why? They want to make sure you are the owner and you know your business. And that's how they will weed out if you're not the one owning and controlling the business, because if you can't answer the questions, guess what? You don't pass the test, okay? So the process in general can take up to 90 days before you find out if you get certified or not. There are a lot of benefits to certification. So it could be educational, it could be opportunities like I shared with you about the Super Bowl. The same thing is happening with the A's stadium ballpark that's being built, very similar. So again, if you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to diversify your revenue stream, certification is the way to do that. It's also a great marketing tool because what you may not know is both in the government space as well as in the private sector space, they have a database that they have access to where they can actually see all of the businesses that are certified across the country. They can filter it. So if they said, you know what, we're looking for a software development firm based in Henderson, minority owned, it will filter it for them and they will identify which of those businesses it is. Okay. Networking opportunities. So there's conference, there's events, there's exposure for your business with pitch competitions, mentorship, and sometimes even grant opportunities. So these are a few of our clients that we've helped with their certification. Some of these logos may look familiar. I would say all, if not most of them, did business with the Super Bowl. I can tell you at least 1 or 2 have done business with the NFL, continue to do that. One has done business with the airport. One has done business with Red Bull. I can go on. And those are the benefits of certification because they wouldn't have had those opportunities. Okay, here's some other well-known logos you may recognize. So the process can be overwhelming. It is a service that we provide. You can apply for it on your own. You still have to go through a third party to do it. I did want to cover some common questions. So, does certification make sense for every business? The answer is no. It depends on what your business does. Are you product-based? Are you service-based? Certification can go with either, okay? Who are you looking to do business with? If you have no interest in doing business with the government, don't pursue government certification. If you have no interest in doing business with those large corporate entities, then it may not make sense for you. Can you get denied certification? Absolutely. And what are the common reasons? You don't qualify. You're not eligible, okay? Can you apply for multiple? Yes. So if you're eligible for 5 certifications, you can have all 5 as long as you are eligible and you apply for it. How long is a certification good for? Anywhere from 1 year up to 3 years. It really depends on the type of certification. So for the private sector, those are only good for 1 year. So every year, if you wanted to, you can apply to renew that certification. Is the application fee refundable? There is an application fee only for private sector certifications. Any government certifications, they don't charge that, but for private sector, they do. And that is based on your company's annual gross revenues for the last calendar year, okay? Do businesses receive contracts because of certification? Yes, but you have to leverage your certification. The myth out there is if you get certified, you'll get opportunities landing in your inbox that you don't know what to do with it. I'm here to tell you that does not work. You really have to build those relationships. You want to do business with MGM? Build those relationships. You want to do business with the city of Henderson? Build those relationships, okay? It really comes down to that. So think about, I just talked about that. So certification can be key to your business growth. We have a lot of success stories that we have seen as a result. And so I'm here to tell you it works, but again, it has to make sense for your business. So, time for Q&A. Who's ready for questions? I know that was a lot of information. I have my contact information or website and email here. So if you're afraid or don't want to ask your question in a public setting, feel free to reach back out. Happy to answer those questions. Yes, sir.
My question is, can an individual franchise, like, so I have franchise. So does my whole corporation have to be certified, or can an individual franchise, like, if it's a woman-owned one, be certified specifically for her franchise separate from the parent company?
Great question. So are you the franchisor?
Yes.
Okay. I know you're not going to like this answer. It depends. It depends on the FDD, your disclosure. Have we had success with certifying a franchisee?
That's my question. Can the franchisee
Yes.
get a certification even if we don't as a parent?
Yeah, but it does come back to the franchise agreement. You know, that will go through a more in-depth review with legal, depending on the certifying organization and depending on the certification. So it is possible. Great question. Yes?
So I had a question. You mentioned both veterans and women. I remember one was businesses owned by women, both private and public.
Yes.
And then veteran was veteran destination with veteran and also the disabled veteran.
Yes.
If we both are business owners, which one would you recommend the path for?
Great question. So it comes back to who has the majority ownership.
50-50, that's why we can.
So that's, yeah, and that's a great question. So if it's equal ownership, one's veteran, one's female, neither. Because the veteran has to have the majority ownership or the female has to have the majority ownership. They won't look at it equally. Now, the exception to that would be the SBE certification, so that's the Small Business Enterprise certification, the ESB certification, which is the Emerging Small Business certification. That's the exception because neither of those have anything to do with gender or ethnicity, and they don't look at the majority ownership. Uh-oh.
I say it's her.
Let's talk offline, okay? Yes, sir.
On a lot of these programs, do you require to submit a business plan with future earnings or stuff like that?
Great question. No business plan is required. And you don't really have to be in business for a certain time period, right? So think of, if you're a startup and you're interested in applying for certification, a business plan is still not needed, but they will want to see the history or an overview of what your business is, right? They're still going to want to see personal tax returns because you don't have any business financials. They're still going to want to see your entity documentation, right? So if you're a corporation, LLC, they're still going to want to see your articles or your operating agreement, right? So you'll still need that. Great question. Any other questions? Yes, Sherilyn.
I know there's like a lot of questions to this answer, or to the question, I guess, you want to ask me. Just generally speaking, if you're a women business owner, which one would you recommend to do first?
If you're a woman business owner, which one would I recommend to do first? Hands down, WBE and WOSB. Because WOSB is federal government, if that's opportunities you want to pursue, and WBE is private sector. Yes. Again, you want to think about your business. What services do you offer? Lorraine, tell me when you need me off stage. Okay. Think about the services you offer. At the end of the day, whoever you're looking to do business with, what solution and what problem do you solve, okay? They don't care about promotional items. They don't care about IT, although IT is a big spend, both in the government space and private sector. But they want to know what makes you different, right? What problem are you going to solve for us? Because what happens, and I'll get to you, what happens sometimes is certified companies, they have a meeting with a large potential client. They will start off by saying, I'm a woman-owned, or I'm a veteran-owned, or I'm a minority-owned firm. No. That's just a bonus if you are. The positioning you want to have, what you can provide to solve their problem, right? So you're selling the solution is what you're selling. Yes, sir.
Could you mention again the service or agencies you mentioned that help you fill all this out?
Other than Nevada Business Advisors?
I just
No.
want to make sure we can contact you directly, but I thought you mentioned other places.
Yeah, so we're a small business ourselves. We do provide a complimentary consultation. So if you just want to walk through, ask questions, you can schedule that directly on our website. Are there agencies that will help you? Yeah. If you're a veteran-owned business, Nevada Veterans Business Outreach Center, okay. You also have the Nevada Small Business Development Center. SCORE maybe. But keep in mind, these are great resource agencies that are available to you at no cost, but they may not have the expertise. They can help you with the forms. They can help you if you have questions, okay? But take advantage of those free resources.
Thank you.
Great question. Anybody else? Yes, all the way in the back.
Yes, I want to know, why do some banks and companies still ask for your social security number when you're a small business or LLC, and then you have to fight?
Okay, I'm going to attempt to repeat the question. So, why do banks still ask for your social security number when you have a tax ID number? Well, as a former commercial banker, I could answer this question. Oh,
She wants to.
oh, okay.
Yeah, if you want to.
But I see a couple bankers in the room, so I'm going to have Kat answer it.
So as a business, as an entity, you're responsible for that business. You represent that business. That business doesn't make the deposits, the transactions, you are. So we ask you for your personal information to add you as an owner and have full control of that tax ID number in that entity. So, and it's a myth, right? We still need the business owner to be responsible for any lending and any products that they get at the bank level or with any financial institution, because at the end of the day, if you walk away, they're gonna follow you.
So the
Okay,
business is
so
your
is
baby
that
and
for a
yours.
set-
Correct.
Is that for a set time or a set?
Always,
Your business?
always.
So if your business grows tremendously, you still have to have.
Well, if you grow as a big corporation, then there's programs or there's lending just based on the corporation, but we only gonna count that income, not what you pay yourself. So if the business can support that by themselves, then. But also, if you wanna open an account, do anything, we need you. You manage that account, not the business. Okay?
The other answer is no surprise. Banks are just highly regulated. Big Brother's watching real close, right? And this all started with the Patriot Act and the compliance and the know your customer, right, that the bankers have to abide to, it's real, you know? And so that is a great question. But I would say if you're applying for business credit, yes, apply under your business entity name, apply under your tax ID number, but the bank's nosy, they need that information. Who's the ownership, right? Okay, great question. Any other questions? I think we've answered it all. I hope this was helpful. And again, any follow-up, feel free to reach back out.
Thank you, Monica. Give
Lorraine.
Monica a round of applause. That was amazing. I thought your slide was going to take forever.